They can't buy food. They can't feed their children. They don't have transportation. That's huge. We're talking basic survival needs here. So oftentimes, it isn't really about the grade. Well, it is. But more importantly, or bigger, the bigger picture, it's about what that F means in the long run. So when we respond differently, sometimes we can help them to move beyond that. Sometimes we can help them with that. So this is how it works. And I'm not a physiology major or a biology major or anything, anatomy anyway. But this is the way I understand. This is a really simple drawing of the brain. And you know, if you think of the brain as for the purposes of this, there's 3 distinct parts to the brain. And we've got, as you can see, we've got the reptilian part of the brain, the limbic part, which is the mammalian part of the brain, and then we have the neocortex, which is the higher functioning part. That's where our students need to be in order to really do well in school. They need to be up in that neocortex part of their brain. The neocortex doesn't fully develop until sometimes after the age of 20. And there's a new piece of legislation that started in January for former foster youth, extending their emancipation age from 18 to 25. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it used to be that foster youth were kicked out of foster care at the age of 18, and then they were on their own. What they realized is that the functions that they need to be able to do at that age required them to be in that higher functioning part of their brain, and it's not even developed yet. And so that was one of the arguments for extending their foster care options to the age of 25, where they can opt in and out of foster care. Many of the students that you're seeing are under 25. And so many of them are still learning how to plan. They're still learning how to look at choices and look at options and think ahead and analyze and problem solve. So, but if you go back to the reptilian part of the brain, this is the oldest part and the most primitive part of our brain. This is the part of our brain that acts out our instincts. This is the fight-flight, survival part of our brain. Then you take the next part, the mammalian brain, which includes the limbic system, and this is the emotional center of our brain. This is the part of our brain that focuses on our body's emotional response to danger. You know, the reptilian, we're going to be ready to go, but that limbic system says run, run, you're in danger, get out of here. And then the neocortex is the higher function of the brain. When we're in a place of stress and we go into that reptilian part of our brain, it overrides the neocortex. So have you ever heard people say when your stress increases, your IQ decreases? And that's when that reptilian limbic system is active, your ability to really problem solve. Have you ever heard people say, I was just so angry I couldn't see straight and I didn't know what I was going to say? Have you ever been so angry you didn't know what you were going to say? That's because you're in that lower part of the brain. So when our students come to us and they perceive a threat, that's where they go. They go into instinct. They go into that emotional part of the brain. They have a difficult time getting data from other places, and they